Crossroads Media.
Tobias Harris in the fourth quarter, putting up some nice buckets, getting the steal, taking it to the rack. He had the major dunk as well, although sort of Blake Griffin-esque, if you will, where he somewhat threw it down on the defender instead of actually slamming it. But even after that possession, he had a nice take to the basket for an and one. Not that he was knocking down the free throws in that moment, but still, I do think it's important to note what Tobias Harris did for you late down the stretch. It was solid. It was so damn important. Joel Embiid with the 40-burger. I don't know which play was my favorite. We could talk about block defensively. We could talk about a three-pointer. And just the fact that he's able to feel that confidence, step back three. I mean, it's amazing what he brings to the table. But, you know, Vucevic was basically admitting to himself, this is hell. This has to be what hell looks like because I'm getting destroyed. I'm getting annihilated. He's targeting me. He's coming down the lane full force. I have to wrap him up. I have to put him to the oh man, I put him to the free throw line and he made his bucket and now he has an opportunity for a three-point play. What in the hell do you want me to do? Vucevic definitely was getting destroyed. It was a fun watch for sure. And if you remember, there were times earlier in the career of Joel Embiid where it didn't look like this. It wasn't this. It wasn't this deep low post presence and the ability to just annihilate that matchup as easily as he did today. There were times where it was tough. There were times where they were going back and forth. That's where you see the growth on an individual basis between Embiid and Vucevic, and it was beautiful. He was just a stud. It's what we're accustomed to seeing at this point for sure. Tobias, by the way, more than just 23 points and his double digits in the fourth quarter, but he finished with 8 and 5 as well. So he filled out the stat sheet. Niang with that three at the end, which was major. There's nothing sweeter than needing a bucket to just end it. Shut up. Shut up, Bulls. You're not close. You think you're closer than what you really are. Let's see this ball movement. Bang. I had to watch Furkan today play a little point guard, and it really tells you how desperate they are in that position without a Shake Milton. They don't have the ability off the bench to really give someone the rock and say, hey, go have at it. That's why, and this isn't the only reason why, but we scream and we're upset when Doc Rivers doesn't stagger the minutes like we saw at the beginning stages of this game where Joel Embiid went to the bench. Tyrese Maxey stayed out there. Maxey had some nice threes early on. It was the Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey show definitely in the beginning stages of the game. But yeah, I mean, they both were just knocking down shots from the three-point line. That was their bread and butter tonight with just making some timely threes and making a decent amount of them throughout, you know, as the game was playing out to keep themselves in a nice, comfortable spot for sure. And it's crazy because I wanted to get to the stat here. Maxey, last year, his threes off the dribble were 22% taken. So 22% of his threes off the dribble, and he scored at 23% of them. This is courtesy of Derek Bodner. And then this year, 39% of his threes are off the dribble. So that's a 17% increase, and he's making them at basically a 41% clip. So that just shows you the numbers on how much he has improved in that area and has become very sharp and way more confident. And that's really what it boils down to is he knows when the ball's in his hands, there's a screen set, and he's able to create some separation off of his teammate, making that pick or screen for him, and he sees the wide open shot. I'm taking this. I will shoot it. While at times I'm watching Seth Curry feel the need to pass up open looks, and that definitely doesn't feel good. He's someone who's capable of annihilating a game, really taking it over and getting on a hot streak. And there's so many times, I swear, where I'm going, shoot it, pull the trigger, let it go, let it fly. And nope, that's not exactly what happens. And it's frustrating for sure, and it bothers me. But that's been somewhat of a storyline with this team. It's not to the same level as it once was in the previous stages of this season, but it definitely still shows its ugly head at times. There's no doubt about it. So Doc Rivers, I thought, had some fascinating words before the game even began, and it was in regards to this whole James Harden thing. And you heard the coach of the Brooklyn Nets talk about this as well, where it's like, so you're saying you're not trading you're not trading James Harden. It's like, that is correct. We're not trading James Harden. And not that you anticipate him saying something different. Yeah, this guy's out of here. Forget about it. I find it interesting that Sham says something, and then I had Paul Hudrick on of Liberty Ballers. He was my guest on The Fanatic today, and he brought up, I didn't see this clip specifically, but he brought up the fact that Woj on TV was talking about how Kevin Durant wants him here. He wants James Harden here, and he's making it known to the Brooklyn Nets that I want to play with James Harden. Let's just flip the script a bit. If Joel Embiid tells the front office, I want X, Y, and Z, don't you do everything in your power to keep it as constructed as you possibly can, let's say, with your biggest player wanting something specific. And oh, by the way, that player he wants happens to be a superstar in this league in James Harden. Now, maybe that's leaked information from the Brooklyn Nets side to kind of cool things down while Shams is saying the other thing. And I'm paraphrasing a bit, I do find it crazy that Doc Rivers basically admits what we've all been talking about, which is we know what Rich Paul wants. We know what Clutch Sports is trying to do, and that's create a certain narrative. And like I said, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but Doc pregame was talking about how, info is leaked from a certain guy who works with the same agent. And yeah, I mean, that's basically what's happened here is they want a story to be perceived a certain way. Maybe that's to open up discussion from other teams around, feeling pressure. Oh, hold on a second. They're getting close with the Brooklyn Nets. Let's see if we can swoop in and make a deal or something along those lines, just to get the Ben Simmons train moving a bit and his name being thrown out there again on social media and that kind of having an impact throughout. So it's just something to laugh at the same time. It's coming down the stretch here, and I'll still stand my ground and say that deep down my thought is it's happening more in the offseason than it is right now than it would in the trade deadline. It just opens up the door for a little bit more dialogue, a little bit more Daryl Morey fingerprints, has some more time and some more versatility involved in everything for sure.